For the latest, then, we'll cross now to Emmanuelle Chaze, France 24's correspondent in Kyiv. Good morning, Emmanuelle. So these latest strikes, both the ones today and the ones between Thursday and Friday, come, of course, after the U.S. suspended some intelligence sharing with Kyiv. Are these strikes then yet another consequence of that?
Well, that's what fears the population here, that if Ukraine doesn't have access to certain intelligence being provided by the U.S., this will lead to an increasing amount of such strikes, and also that those strikes will be much more difficult for Ukrainian intelligence and the Ukrainian army to counter. You will see such attacks happening on a daily basis, especially closer to the front line, such as in the city of Dobropillia. And this is the fear of civilians there. You have to keep in mind that there are still thousands of people living in the embattled region of Donetsk, and they stay there because they simply have no choice. They see no perspective in leaving. They cannot afford the rent in other parts in Ukraine, for example. Some people are retired. They've never lived anywhere else. And a lot of people in Dobropillia in particular, I was there just a few months ago, were telling me, well, we've already been displaced from our native cities, which are, for example, now currently under Russian occupation. I'm thinking about people I've been talking to who have already moved to Dobropillia as a safer space. Only it's 20 kilometers away from the embattled city of Pokrovsk, and it's very vulnerable to such strikes. And there's really the worry here that due to this change of policy from Washington in terms of intelligence sharing, well, it would be simply more and more difficult to stop such strikes from happening, and as a consequence, they will become deadlier and also more destructive when they fall on Ukrainian buildings.
So what do you think that Russia is trying to achieve then, Emmanuelle, with these strikes that are really targeting civilian infrastructure or civilians themselves?
Well, I will quote the energy minister Herman Halushenko. He was referring to strikes yesterday that targeted the Ukrainian energy infrastructure. He was saying that Russia seeks to render life impossible and tenable for Ukrainian society. And I think that's very much this element of making, scaring people into submission to Russia, making people leave, for example, in the frontline cities that are being bombed day in, day out. There's that, there's that movement of population. Those who could leave have left already. Those who stay just hope for the best. And usually people who leave at this stage, that's because their house has just been shelled and they really have no other choice. But it's really this feeling here from the Ukrainian population that they are being bombed in order for them to be scared, in order for them to surrender. And it's simply not happening because Ukrainians really see this war as a war of survival. They know that if they stop fighting, if they leave, well, then their country will collapse and there will be no more Ukraine. So this tactic from Russia is deadly, but it doesn't work on Ukrainian civilians.
Emmanuelle Chaze, our correspondent in Kyiv, thank you very much.